When a desperate prospector discovers a hidden cave in the Nevada desert, he uncovers a deadly secret that forces him to choose between his survival and his soul. The metallic tang of blood fills Samuel's nostrils as he presses his palm against the jagged rock face. His fingers come away crimson, but it's not his blood. The stain is old, rust brown, embedded in the sandstone like a permanent scar. The desert wind carries something else, the sweet, cloying scent of decay that shouldn't exist in this barren wasteland. Samuel Hartwell wipes the sweat from his brow with a trembling hand. 3 days without water. His lips are cracked leather, his tongue a swollen mass in his mouth. The Nevada sun beats down mercilessly, turning the rocky outcropping into a furnace. But that smell, that impossible smell, draws him forward. His boot catches on something metallic. A rusted pickaxe, its wooden handle bleached white by decades of sun. Strange. No mine shafts for miles. Samuel's prospector instincts kick in. 30 years of chasing silver veins and fool's gold have taught him to notice what doesn't belong. The blood trail leads around a boulder the size of a stagecoach. Behind it, hidden from the main canyon, a dark fissure splits the rock face. The opening is narrow, barely wide enough for a man. But that smell, it's stronger here. Sweet rot mixed with something metallic. Something wrong. Samuel's water-starved brain screams at him to keep moving, to find the creek that should be somewhere in this maze of canyons. But his hands are already reaching for the cave entrance, drawn by an instinct deeper than thirst. The cave mouth exhales cool air that tastes of copper and secrets. Samuel squeezes through the opening, his shirt tearing on the rough stone. Inside, blessed darkness. His eyes adjust slowly, revealing a tunnel that stretches deeper than his lamp can penetrate. On the ground, scattered like breadcrumbs, silver coins. Spanish reales, their edges worn smooth. Samuel's heart hammers. He's seen coins like these before, in the collections of wealthy men back in San Francisco. Each one worth more than most miners make in a month. But it's what lies beneath the coins that makes his blood freeze. Bones. Human bones, picked clean and scattered. A rib cage here, a skull there, all bearing the telltale marks of violence. Bullet holes in the cranium, knife marks on the ribs. This isn't a tomb, it's a killing ground. Samuel's lamp flickers across the cave walls, revealing crude scratches in the stone, names, dates, a ledger carved in desperation. Martinez, July 15th, 1847, 2000. Chen, August 3rd, 1847, 2500. O'Brien, September 12th, 1847, 3200. The list goes on. Dozens of names. Dozens of amounts. All from the same year, 1847. The year of the California gold rush. The year desperate men would kill for a handful of silver. Samuel's lamp beam catches something else. In the deepest part of the cave, a wooden chest sits partially buried under decades of sand and debris. His hands shake as he approaches it, the silver coins crunching under his boots like broken promises. The chest is locked, but the wood is rotted. Samuel's pickaxe makes short work of the rusted hinges. Inside, more silver stacked in neat rows. But underneath the coins, wrapped in oiled leather, a journal. The leather binding bears a name burned into its surface. Captain J. Hartwell, U.S. Army. Hartwell. Samuel's surname. His grandfather's name. With trembling fingers, Samuel opens the journal. The pages are yellow with age, but the ink is still legible. His grandfather's handwriting. He recognizes it from old letters his mother kept. June 1847. Established way station at Devil's Canyon. Orders are clear. Intercept Mexican silver shipments fleeing north. No survivors, no witnesses. For the glory of the Republic, Samuel's world tilts. His grandfather, the war hero, the man whose medals hung above the family fireplace, was a murderer. A thief who used his military position to rob and kill Mexican families fleeing the war. July 20th, 1847. The Martinez family put up more fight than expected. Had to use the cave. Children saw too much. God forgive me, but orders are orders. Children. Samuel's stomach lurches. He thinks of his own daughter back in Sacramento, her trusting eyes, her innocent laughter. How many children died in this cave? How many families were slaughtered for their silver? The journal entries continue, each one a confession, each one another nail in the coffin of Samuel's family legacy. The final entry, dated September 1847. Can't continue. The screams follow me into sleep. Burying the silver here. If anyone finds this, know that Captain Joshua Hartwell died with honor in Mexico. The man who wrote these words died long before. Samuel's hands shake as he closes the journal. Everything he believed about his family, about his grandfather's heroism, crumbles like sand through his fingers. Fascinating reading, isn't it? Samuel spins, his heart exploding in his chest. A figure emerges from the cave entrance, Sheriff Tom Bradley, his badge glinting in the lamplight. But Bradley's gun is drawn and his smile is cold as winter. Sheriff? How did you... Follow you. Been tracking you for 3 days, Sam. Ever since you started asking questions about your grandfather in town. Bradley steps closer, his boots crunching on the scattered bones. Funny thing about small towns. Secrets have a way of staying buried until someone starts digging. Samuel's mind races. Bradley had been helpful back in town, pointing him toward the old mining records, suggesting he search the canyons for his grandfather's lost claim. Too helpful. You knew, Samuel whispers. You knew what was here. Bradley chuckles, a sound like grinding glass. My great-grandfather was Joshua's sergeant. Helped him with the wet work. Family business, you might say. We've been protecting this secret for 70 years. The sheriff's eyes glitter with greed as he surveys the scattered silver. Of course, protection's expensive, and times are hard. Figure it's time the Bradley family got its fair share of the Hartwell fortune. Samuel's hand inches toward his own gun, but Bradley's weapon never wavers. Wouldn't do that. Sam, see, you're gonna have an accident. Tragic, really. Prospector gets lost in the desert, dies of thirst. Happens all the time. And when they find your body, if they find it, this cave will be sealed forever, along with its secrets. The truth hits Samuel like a physical blow. Bradley didn't just know about the cave, he's been using it. The fresh blood on the rocks outside, the recent smell of decay. This isn't just a historical atrocity, it's an ongoing one. How many? Samuel's voice is barely a whisper. How many what? How many people have you brought here? How many accidents? Bradley's smile widens. Enough to keep the family comfortable. Amazing how many drifters and prospectors go missing in the desert. Amazing how much silver they carry. Here's what's gonna happen, Bradley continues, his gun steady. You're gonna put that journal back in the chest. You're gonna walk out of this cave and forget you ever found it. In exchange, I'll let you take enough silver to set you up for life. Your daughter will never want for anything. Samuel's mind reels. The silver in this cave could solve all his problems. His daughter's medical bills, the mortgage on their small farm, the debts that keep him awake at night. One handful of coins could change everything. But the bones scattered at his feet tell a different story. Each one represents a life cut short, a family destroyed, children who never grew up, parents who never came home. Think about it, Sam, Bradley presses. Your grandfather was a patriot, a war hero. Why tarnish his memory? Why destroy your family's honor? Take the silver. Keep the secret. Everyone wins. Samuel looks down at the journal in his hands. His grandfather's confession. The proof of decades of murder and theft. If he destroys it, the truth dies with him. If he keeps it, my daughter, Samuel says slowly. She's sick. The doctors say she needs surgery. Expensive surgery. Bradley nods eagerly. Silver buys the best doctors, Sam. The best care. She could live a long, happy life. All you have to do is walk away. Samuel's throat is dry as sand. The weight of the decision crushes down on him like the desert heat. His daughter's life against the truth. His family's honor against justice for the dead. He thinks of his daughter's face, her trust in him. What kind of man would he be if he built her future on blood money? What kind of father would he be if he let her grow up believing lies about her heritage? But what kind of father would he be if he let her die for the sake of strangers who were already dead? "Time's up, Sam," Bradley growls, his patience wearing thin. "What's it gonna be?" Samuel looks around the cave one last time, at the bones of the innocent, at the silver stained with blood, at the journal that holds the truth about his family's darkest secret. He thinks of his grandfather's final words. The man who wrote these words died long before. Some things are worth more than silver. Some truths are worth more than comfort. "You're right about one thing, Sheriff," Samuel says, his voice steady for the first time in days. "My grandfather was a war hero, but not the way you think." Samuel clutches the journal to his chest. He could have kept killing, could have kept taking the silver, but he chose to stop. He chose to confess. That's what makes him a hero. Not the medals, but the moment he decided to be better than his orders. Bradley's face darkens. "You're making a mistake, Sam. A fatal one." "Maybe, but it's my mistake to make." Samuel's hand moves to his gun. Not to draw it, but to remove the bullets. One by one, he drops them to the cave floor, where they clatter among the bones and silver. "I won't kill you, Bradley. Won't make myself like you. But I won't let you kill anyone else either." Bradley laughs, but there's uncertainty in his eyes. "You think you can stop me? Unarmed? I think the truth can stop you." Samuel holds up the journal. "This gets published. Every newspaper from here to San Francisco. Your family's involvement, your crimes, everything. The law might not reach you, but shame will. And when people start asking questions about all those missing prospectors..." Bradley's gun wavers. In the lamplight, his face looks older, more desperate. "You don't understand," he whispers. "If this comes out, it destroys everything. My family, my position, your comfort built on murder," Samuel finishes. "Yeah, I understand perfectly." The standoff stretches like a taut wire. Bradley's gun trembles in his grip. Samuel stands motionless, the journal pressed against his heart. Finally, Bradley's shoulders sag. The gun lowers. "You're a fool, Sam. That silver could have saved your daughter. Maybe. But keeping this secret would have damned her, and me." Samuel steps toward the cave entrance, never taking his eyes off Bradley. "I'm walking out of here. You can shoot me in the back if you want. Add one more murder to your family's legacy. Or you can let me go and face whatever comes next like a man." Bradley doesn't move, doesn't speak. The cave holds its breath. Samuel reaches the entrance and squeezes through the narrow opening. Outside, the desert sun blinds him temporarily. When his vision clears, he sees Bradley emerging behind him, his gun holstered, his face a mask of defeat. "What happens now?" Bradley asks. Samuel looks back at the cave, at the hidden tomb that held his family's darkest secret. "Now we tell the truth, all of it, and we let the dead finally rest." He starts walking toward town, the journal tucked safely in his shirt. Behind him, Bradley follows at a distance, no longer a threat, but not yet an ally. The desert wind carries away the smell of decay, replacing it with the clean scent of sage and possibility. Samuel's lips are still cracked, his throat still parched, but his step is lighter than it's been in years. He thinks of his daughter, waiting for him in Sacramento. He'll have to tell her the truth about her great-grandfather, about the silver they'll never claim, about the surgery they might not be able to afford, but he'll also tell her about choices, about the moment when a man decides who he wants to be, about the difference between honor and medals, between courage and comfort. Some inheritances are worth more than silver. Some legacies are worth more than lies. Samuel Hartwell walks toward the setting sun, carrying the weight of truth and the lightness of a clear conscience. Behind him, the hidden cave exhales its last secret into the desert wind, finally free to let its ghosts find peace. 6 months later, the Sacramento Bee publishes a series of articles exposing the Devil's Canyon massacre. The cave becomes a memorial site. Sheriff Bradley resigns in disgrace, but avoids prosecution due to lack of evidence for recent crimes. Samuel's daughter recovers from her illness through the charity of readers moved by his story. He never touches the blood silver, but finds something more valuable: the knowledge that some choices echo through generations, and the courage to make the right one can break even the darkest family curse. The cave remains open now, a reminder that secrets buried in darkness eventually find their way to light. If this story of moral courage in the face of impossible choices moved you, please subscribe to our channel for more tales of the American West, where ordinary people face extraordinary decisions. Next week, we'll explore the banker's last stand. When a small-town banker discovers his trusted partner has been embezzling money meant for war widows, he must choose between loyalty and justice. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss it, and let us know in the comments. What would you have done in Samuel's place? Sometimes the hardest battles are fought not with guns, but with conscience.